Nothing is as symbolic as a flag. They symbolise nations, events, movements and even football premierships. Today we're going to have a look at the Victorian Naval Ensign at the Parliamentary Library. Here with me is Annalise Milk. Annalise, tell me, what's an ensign used for?
An ensign is the national flag used within a naval or military context. A naval ensign is usually required to be flown when entering and leaving harbour, or when sailing through foreign waters when the ship is signalled to do so by a warship. They're also flown during battles, and when the ensign is lowered, the ship is said to have surrendered.
So this is a Victorian naval ensign?
Yes.
From when Victoria was a colony?
That's right. Before Federation, Victoria had its own navy, and this ensign was used by the Victorian Naval Contingent in the Boxer Rebellion in China in 1900. The contingent was led by Captain Tickle, who had commanded the Victorian Naval Forces since 1897.
And tell me about its design.
Well, between 1870 and 1877, the Victorian flag bore only the Union Jack and the Southern Cross. However, in 1877, the Victorian flag was redesigned to also feature an imperial crown, and this version was in use until 1901. On this particular ensign, the imperial crown was added to an 1870 flag in order to approximate the 1877 design.
Fascinating. So how did this flag get in Parliament's collection?
Well, in around 1901, Captain Tickle presented it to Senator Frederick Thomas Sargent, who had been Victoria's First Minister of Defence. Then in 1934, Lady Sargent presented the ensign to the Victorian Parliament.
And it's been here ever since?
Well, actually, in September 1986, it was stolen from Parliament House, but it was recovered a week later. And the report in the Age newspaper said that police wished to question a young man wearing a beret and a bow tie.
Sounds like the flag's been through a lot, but it looks well preserved. Has it had conservation treatment?
Yes, well, at some point during its life, the ensign underwent conservation treatment in order to stabilise it. And this navy cotton netting was actually stitched across the entire surface, and then it was attached to a wool backing.
Oh wow, so were we looking at the flag or the netting?
Basically the netting. It was pretty invasive treatment, one that wouldn't usually be done these days, but after consulting with conservators, we decided to remove the cotton netting because it was impregnated with dust and had faded and stiffened over the years. Also, the netting was obscuring the frayed end of the flag in these large horizontal tears. Silk crepeline has been hand-stitched to the flag's edge to stabilise the tears and fraying. It's also shorter than expected and most likely trimmed down over its history. You can see a separate piece here that has been kept from the original hemline.
This ensign has had quite a journey. Thanks, Annalise. You can see many more pieces of our rich history by taking a tour here at Parliament House.